Hey folks, Mike North here for the 30 and 5 on the Big Ten Network from Fox Sports Radio and XM 169. Hey, it was Purdue knocking off the Fighting Illini by a score of 21-14. They started out quickly. As far as Illinois was concerned, they couldn't get anything going to the second half. In fact, the fourth quarter of that game, they've lost 2 games in a row now. Ron Zook cannot be happy about that. In the meantime, the Purdue Boilermakers at 2-1 in the Leaders Division. You know, a lot of people didn't expect that. Purdue quietly getting it done, methodically beating the Illini, got off to a good start. Their defense played well, and you know what? It wasn't one of those gaudy 56-55 games, and it wasn't like some other high-scoring games that we had in the Big Ten this week. Now, Purdue is going to go to Michigan, and Illinois is going to be playing at Penn State. Purdue, Michigan, I think is going to be the better game. Have we seen the real Illinois? They had a weak non-conference schedule, got off to a good start though in the Big Ten Conference. Are they 500, or can they go down to Happy Valley and knock Penn State off? Now, I was just talking about high-scoring games in the Big Ten this past weekend. Penn State 34, Northwestern 24. Joe Paterno continues to get it done, ladies and gentlemen. He is a legend in the business. Now, he beat a guy that I think someday is going to be, somewhat of his ilk. I don't know if he'll last as long as Joe Pa, and I'm talking about, of course, Pat Fitzgerald, the pride and joy of Orland Park. Now, Pat is it off to an 0-4 start, him and his Wildcat team, but who thought that they were going to lose? Dan Persa. Dan Persa, the talented quarterback, was touted for a Heisman Trophy this year, and you know what? Now, with him being hurt and him slowly coming back, it's set Northwestern back. You can lose a lot of players, but if you're banking on that big-time quarterback, and Dan Persa was being banked on, then you know what? You get what you pay for, or you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Northwestern's at Indiana, and Penn State, like I said earlier, plays Illinois at Penn State. It was Nebraska 41, Minnesota 14. Minnesota now 0-3 in the conference. Nebraska bouncing back to 2-1. Was the loss to Wisconsin maybe a good thing? No coach will ever say that, but I think that if you're going to talk to Nebraska now, they got hit with a sudden shock type of situation there, but now they've reaped the benefits from that tough first loss in conference, and they've won 2 in a row. So you have to love the fact now Nebraska now not only winning, but winning convincingly. Now, this week, Minnesota, and I talk about the hard luck Minnesota team, they're going to be playing Iowa, but they're at home. It doesn't matter so far. Michigan State at Nebraska. That is going to be one of the better games of the day. And Iowa, 45, Indiana, 24. Indiana, for the Indiana people, good news. You got offense. Bad news, you didn't have defense. Iowa, Kirk Ferentz has been a staple there. At Iowa for a long time. You don't hear about him going to the NFL anymore. You don't hear him doing anything but taking care of his family, loving it in Iowa, becoming basically one of the most recognizable figures in Iowa. So you know what? I give him full kudos. It seems like, for the most part, he's let go of the NFL dream. Maybe he saw some of his other college brethren go there and not be able to get it done. Those were the games this past weekend. Let's go over the standings if we can. Michigan State, this is in the Legends Division at 3-0. You have Michigan at 2-1. Nebraska now at 2-1. So all these teams are in the race. Iowa at 2-1. Then there's a drop. You have 2 teams that combine 0-7. Northwestern at 0-4 and Minnesota at 0-3. In the Leaders Division, we're going to have championship football in the Big Ten. That's great. Penn State at 4-0. Right now, Wisconsin at 2-1 behind them, along with Purdue, Illinois, Ohio State, and Indiana. But Wisconsin still the class. Hey, have a great day. Hey, it was great reviewing the Big Ten weekend. We'll be back tomorrow with what's coming up and individual minute and 30s for all the schools here on the Big Ten Network, the 30 and 5.